This where you coming from?
Brampton, Toronto. Yeah.
Brampton, Toronto.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited to have you, man. I know. So you have a musical background. Like I've come from a very, very, very musical family.
Yeah.
Growing up out there, right? Like, what was it like for you? Were you kind of forced heavily to pursue music as a kid, coming from the family you come from?
Growing up, it was just one of the things that seemed natural because it was surrounding me all the time. Like, music was the soundtrack to everything that I did. Somebody was always playing music in the house. And then at some point, when I had taken an interest to it, that's when my parents were like, yeah, you got to take this shit seriously. My grandfather flew me out to Jamaica, went back to Yard, and started doing some production and stuff, and that's when it really started rolling. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Did you realize, like, how impactful your grandfather was in music coming up? Like, what, like, because I feel like when I talk to a lot of artists who come from these type of musical backgrounds, like, they don't realize until, like, they kind of get to, like, the middle school or high school age when they're like, oh, shit, wow, like, my family's actually, like, kind of important.
Yeah, no, my grandfather, Leroy Sibbles, he did the one-drop bass line for the Past the Dutchie Rhythm.
I tell you, son, the youth that's called musical youth.
And growing up, this is a song you always hear, and I see, you know, niggas coming up to him, whatever, but it's like, it's normal because I don't know any different. And then as I started, you know, growing up, making a name for myself, and niggas found out who I was, my grandfather actually used to live in the dot in Toronto, so niggas were like, yo, we know about your grandfather, and that niggas like, Don Dada type shit. So, like, it really is always deeper than rap, and like, yeah, growing up, with it, it helped me to sort of understand it, but now reflecting back on it, I have an appreciation for it that, you know, is a lot bigger than what it was before.
Right. And when it comes to, like, following, like, your own sound, because obviously the music you make is different, right?
100%.
Like, yeah. Did you feel ever, like, kind of, I want to say forced, but, like, when with your family and your grandfather, did he kind of push you to make something different or kind of follow in his footsteps? Like, what direction do you feel like you maybe were pushed to, and then kind of like where did you like decide that, okay, I want to go do this instead?
I was like maybe 10 or 11, but I guess I was on a little bad child run, and my parents shipped me out to Jamaica to go stay with him for a bit. He got me a guitar, and I made this little 2-chord song.
Right.
And he was like, that's it. This is it. That's what we've been waiting for. And he put me in the studio with a bunch of producers, and that was the first time I ever like saw the actual creative process of a song. So in a way, it was sort of like forceful, but just like how, you know, if your kid shows interest in something, you know what I'm saying? You want to help them build that, and you don't want them to really sway from it. Like, you want to help them be productive with that skill and that talent, right?
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.